actually on time. I try to be on time, but sometimes it takes longer to set all this stuff up. I'm still getting better at it. A little out of focus, isn't it? No, I guess it looks okay. How is everybody today? I hope you're doing well. It's a fantastic Monday as far as Mondays are concerned. We're still building the Kshatriya. Well, the Dominator. It's a third-party kit. Let me get the legs off. We did the side skirts last night. Still needs the back skirt. After that, the skirts are done, and we're moving on to the top. I'm actually kind of pushing this kit. Trying to get the inner frame built so I can move on to painting the bear. I don't want to start painting it until I get some of these runners off my desk. It's taking up a lot of space. It's a big kit. Anyway, once I get this snap built and I move on to the painting process, we might start another third-party kit. I have a Moderoid Voltron in the backlog. I'm kind of thinking one line at a time might be maybe a once a week thing. I guess maybe I should pin a comment too. We'll keep it simple today. Sorry if my typing may be loud. I'll mute it for this. All right. Sorry about that. I'm a slow typer. Let's get these legs off so we can keep going. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull these skirts off too. This thing is incredibly heavy. Probably one of the heaviest model kits I've had. Oh, breaking it. I really am enjoying this build though. Like if you're on the fence about this kit, it's kind of, with the shipping and it being third party, might take a minute to get here. And there's a lot of shippers that ship it without the box, so watch for that. But it's worth getting. It's a super fun build. And I have a feeling it's going to look great whether I paint it or not. I'm still going to paint it, because I've kind of wanted this kit for a long time. Anyway, let me clean up the desk here a little bit. I realized if I set the files on edge, they don't glare so badly in the camera. And if the camera starts to look bad, please let me know. It's unfortunately I'm using kind of an older Fuji as my desk cam. Probably isn't the greatest, but it's what I have to work with at the moment. And if I had a capture card, it'd be a little bit different, but without a capture card, the software's a little limited, and I gotta keep refocusing it on occasion. So if it starts to get fuzzy, don't hesitate to say, hey, you're fuzzy. Anyway, I left off right here last night. So we'll start there. And I don't know why I decided to pick such a big kit to start live streams with, because I would like to actually move on to that Voltron. It's kind of eating at me. But nonetheless, I'm going to get the body of this thing built, and then I think we might visit a lion or two. Alright, we're looking for the G's, the P's, the A's, and the O's. Here's our P2. Do that first. Hope the audio's okay. I think I drank one too many cups of coffee this morning. I'm a little jittery. Don't notice it until I'm trying to put the nippers up against the gates. Probably should have had some lunch before getting on, but oh, I missed a couple of the P2s. Let's backtrack. Where are you? Why do I not see that part? Oh, it's this one. So I heard yesterday that they're actually finally announced January 31st as the release date for Sorcery and Circes, second part of Hathaway. I am super excited about that. We have waited a long, long time for that. I'm actually hoping to paint my small SD Kasai before we get to the 31st. And then I'm hoping to hand paint it with you guys. That's the plan anyway. C15. A little tiny part. Ah, there it is. My finger's on it. I don't see it because I'm holding the runner. So is it a runner or a sprue? You know, maybe that'll be a poll question for the next stream. I can't help but bob my head to this track. Gee. So I don't know if you've watched any of the video streams. There was a few nights ago. I actually probably should go clip that video. There's about 15 minutes of dead air time as I looked around for the K runner. It was stuck to the back of the G runner. I actually started to think they didn't send it to me. Getting kind of freaked out. Then I realized it was lack of observation. Number 9. Where are you? Is that you? Ah, that's you. 8 and 9. We're gonna clip them both. I know I'm gonna need them both. Ah, caught it with the pants. If anybody's here, is the music overly loud? I can't tell, because the way I have to run it, it's super loud in my ears, but I hope it's not in yours. I was having trouble figuring out what angle to come at that one with. Alright. Get these gates off here and we'll put this together. Happy little parts. I feel like there's one hiding on here. Maybe not. Think back to when I started building my master grade Zaku. And I didn't really use glass files then. I was still doing everything with sanding pads. Glass files are so much easier. It was like probably one of the best $11 I ever spent. I don't even know if it was that much. It might have been 7. Getting kind of gunky though. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about Hathaway. I am super excited. I hope it doesn't take long to get to the US. In an ideal world, this would be a great opportunity for me to take the Dynamids to the kid once and for all and go see it with her. Although it'd probably be in Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese, and I doubt they're subtitling it in English in Japanese theaters. But I could be wrong. I would still go see it. And to go see it in Japan would actually be really cool. I hope it's good. I have not read the mangas, but I know the synopsis of the story, and I'm wondering if they're going to keep the anime true to the manga. If so, man, that's all I'll say. If you know, you know. Alright. I think it's ready. I feel like there's a hidden gate on one or two of these parts, and I have had some fitment issues by not clipping the right gates. Alright, so... that way? Correct. Looks correct. Where do you go? Like I'm missing something. That's it. Trying to push it too far over to the side. And through here. Probably should have done that first. I think we can still get it in there. There we go. This way. Oh. This would be one of those parts that if I dropped it on my floor, I'd be down there for 10 minutes trying to find it. Gray on gray. Is that everything? I feel like I'm missing something. I think that's it. Oh, she went together good. Ooh, there's that missing gate. And it's actually better to hit that after I put it together. So that worked out well. Okay, that moves. And, oh, I see. I feel like that should have more travel. Maybe that's it. Probably look different when I add the other part. That's it. Do I need to do that twice? I need to look ahead a little. Does it say twice? Huh. Guess it's just once. Alright, well, we'll keep going. I need K. Where are you? Hi, Pinner. Happy Monday to you. It's a good Monday. I'm building a model kit. Boy, I got a sinister looking smile. I should maybe reconfigure my teeth. Almost sounds violent. hope you're having a good Monday. Oh, before I forget, we had a gate right here. Does not want to be there. Get rid of that. That's pretty good. I can live with that. The rest of it will go away when I paint. Still kind of torn on how I'm going to go about painting this frame. I don't think I'm going to paint most of the coated parts. I think I'm going to leave those as alone. Yeah, it's actually going pretty good. Oh, you're meaning your day. You'll have to forgive the lag. I should just nip that. I don't know why I'm filing that. If I could see it. There we go. This is one of those kind of losing the shadow in the light and very easy to cut too much. Like I think I'm about to do. There we go. I have done that. Well, I'm glad the day is going so far so good. That's how the day should go. Too much anxiety in the world today. We all need to just build more model kits. Did I have a glitch? I have a feeling by the time we get done with this back skirt, there's going to be nothing left of this K runner. It's one of the few that doesn't have mirrored parts. As I read the directions for this, it's somewhat misleading trying to find the parts on the runners. K8 already cut. That's not good. You're not you. Huh. I don't know if I have a part like that. Oh. Well, that explains that. I'm not holding the K runner, I'm holding the G runner. I am having a good day, Pinner. As long as I grab the right runners. I was looking for this. But I'm looking for this on this. And that number's not there no more. That's a big part. We wanted this the whole time, though. me scratch my head when I do that, because there was a few of the parts, like, these all came off the runner. There was a couple bags that had some loose ones, so if I'm missing one, eek. Alright, K31. It's like playing bingo. Here's K31. I bet you we're going to want K29 also. We do. We're going to do all these at once. Trying to get through this so we can get to Voltron. K31. 27. K29. 27. One. Where are you, 32? There you are. And 28. On you. N. Awesome. I like the end parts. They're these gold ones. And I'm not a fan of coatings, but these are great coatings. They did a good job with the gates. Problem with the coatings is usually you can't sand them and you're exposing the runner. They did a really good job with the gate placement on this, so where it doesn't really expose any of the coating by the time you assemble it. 4 and 5. Little panel lining on that, maybe some backwash. Something dark in the low spots, that's really gonna pop. I saw resin kits for this kit on Musage and Hobby. And some of them were actually relatively affordable. I don't think I'm going to go that route, just because there's so much to this, it doesn't really need a resin kit. But it made me think about the massive amount of detail it already has. Kind of why I decided to build it as a live stream. I'll probably paint it more in video format, at least the bulk of it. Maybe do the brushwork live. And there's a lot of it I'm not going to touch at all, paint-wise. But then there's some of it that, by the time I get done, I think the inner frame of this is going to be quite wild looking. I'm going to try to give it a slight touch of weathering. Nothing too major, just enough to lend a little realism to it. I'm gonna go big for this one. It's like a seam on that I don't like. Although, I think that should be there. Can't tell if that's supposed to be flat or if that's two separate angles. That's definitely an angle. Is the audio okay for those that are hanging out? Not too loud, not too soft. I can't really fix it now, but notes for later. I mean, I could attempt to fix it, but it would probably crash the stream. OBS does not like post-start adjustments. At least my OBS doesn't. I believe I'm going to have to do this same series of parts 2 more times. I think there's one for each side of the skirt. Pretty sure this is the... Stay. It's not going to stay. That's the centerpiece. Speaking of Voltron, I have heard that there may be a live-action movie that has been secretly produced. It's kind of exciting. For those that weren't here earlier, I was discussing building my Moderoid with Voltron here soon. Maybe one line at a time. One day a week. Something to that effect. Working on scheduling. Maybe getting some other platforms going where you guys can drop me notes and tell me what you'd like to see. Might do a stream here soon where we just kind of look at the backlog. Going on here, angle-wise. I think it looks right. It's this thruster. Missed that one. I'm forcing that. Oh, it hit the ground. Easy find. Oh, did I just do that twice? That's interesting. I don't know what that part is. So we found a mystery part. And I think it's for this. Could be for a different kit. And this one didn't hit the ground. I wonder if I'm using the wrong side. Something they're trying to show me with the orientation of this that I'm just not grasping. There we go. Actually went really easy once I had it figured out. Turn the right way anyhow. You go this way. No, you do go that way. I'm actually confused. Might be looking at the mirrored version. Oh, I am. Hold on. Let's go back to this one. That way? That way. That way. I think it's this one. Let's find out. There we go. Okay. I guess my only complaint about this kit so far is, and I get it, I wish they would have added just maybe a few pages to the instructions and done the illustrations bigger. But that's minimal because they really are great illustrations, and when I get my looper out, they're very, very specific. I just hate having to get my looper out to look at them because it reminds me of how old I actually am. But other than that, they're pretty detailed. They did a really good job with it. Now, oh, excuse me. Now we're going to add that to this part. I think. Why do I feel like I'm still missing something from that? Oh, we didn't put on P2. That's why. That's J. This is P2. Oh, that's E. I can tell it's been a couple days since I touched this thing. I don't remember what runners are what and where I put them. P2, where are you? Here, P2. Here we go. Where's that part? 4. Oh. That's not what I was expecting it to look like. I thought it was a flat part. It's all round. Guess we could talk about 2D and 3D now. This is really bothering me. I don't know why this is here. I'm gonna have to find out what that is. I think it's for this. I'm wondering if it maybe... This didn't feel like it went together right when I snapped it together, and I'm wondering if maybe it's fallen out of that and that's supposed to be in there. Time will tell. I'm just glad I found it. Go that way. Where are you showing me? This way. Oh. Is that as out of focus as it looks? I'm not seeing how this attaches. I don't get it. I feel like I'm missing something here. Like nothing for that to fit in the backup. Unless it's just supposed to rest there until you put the other parts on. Maybe that's what it does. That has happened a couple times. Oh, which one's which? Alright, got that figured out. So that means you go here. Why doesn't that one want to go on? Been a gain on that. Oh, it's upside down too. That's probably why. That's not right. ahead because I think I'm missing something major. Oh. I think I see. I'm trying to put this on here. I think it's supposed to go on here. Ah, haha. You go. There. That's what it is. All right. We got that figured out now. You go that way. Then these go on. Goes to the outside. I wonder if because this is a circular part, if these pegs aren't just ever so slightly out of alignment with each other. There we go. Well, thanks for sitting through that with me if you're here. That was quite the adventure. Believe it or not, I actually talk to myself this much whether I'm streaming or not as I build. I'm still deeply concerned about this part. I don't know why it's here. I really don't. My avatar's gotten all silly again. I wonder if it's because this leg is in the way. Maybe I just need bigger eyes. All right. Well, I'm glad we got through that. I do like the gold. Here. I'll try to zoom in on this. What's funny is I was mentioning how it needs some shadow. Now that it's inside the part, I don't know that it does. Pretty nice looking. And when you pull on it, it shifts. I bet you there's more thrusters that come out on that. turn the page. G and M. Probably go for another hour or so. Maybe 2, depending on where we get. Then I'll have to go join the real world, and I'll come back this evening. I feel like there's a hidden gate on this somewhere I'm not seeing, but every now and again the nippers will do such a good job that there is no gate left. We'll find out when we assemble it with the next parts. And there's the yellow one, if it is. Eight and 9. Where are you? This is 8 and 9. I call them bomb squad parts. Because it's like, when you're cutting them, you kind of feel like you're... Is this the right cut? Does it all blow up after this? Come on, Avatar. Stay where I put you. Oh, it's the camera falling back. Duly noted. Add to list. Better camera stand. What sounds sweet, Pinner? Are you referring to Voltron? Or just the audio in general? Was I supposed to cut that? It certainly looked like a gate. Let's find out. I'm not even going to try to file on this right now. I'm afraid I'll lose it. So, man, I hate to do this because it just exemplifies my age. Yep, this is happening. Ah, the thrusters. Yeah, they are sweet. Okay. I think that makes sense. Yes, you guys just saw me using a looper to look at my instruction manual. Alright, I see now. Go here. the thrusters over here so you can still see them, because they do look pretty sweet. Think. Okay. Maybe? I need to put this mystery part somewhere where it's not going to get lost. Still don't know what that's for. Kind of driving me crazy. Deep breath. Oh, I had it, I think. Okay. Well, that was a lot of work for a little detail. I hope it really worthwhile when I get the other parts attached. Hi, Ray. I need to get glasses. I think actually building these model kits is something that's in the last year affected my eyesight more than I care to admit. And I actually just need to go get my eyes checked and probably get a prescription. I've been procrastinating it, I guess because I'm in denial, if I'm being honest. They actually did do a good job with the manual, though. It's just, my eyes are bad, so... Oh, there you are. It is a very fun build. I've only built a few master grades so far. And so far this one has been the most fun. Yeah, if you break parts, they're hard to come by. And yeah, I'm a little heavy-handed at times, but I made a few mistakes with my very first build that I learned to, you know, gentle. It's all about being gentle. You can generally feel it if it's not going to snap. If you got to force it, something's misaligned. That's kind of why I need to actually take the middle skirt off. I think there's a moving gimmick in there that's not working quite right, because I sort of forced it together, and I don't know that it snapped together right. I don't know what part of the world you're in, Ray. As far as getting replacement parts, there's a lot of people online 3D printing parts now, if you can tell them what runner and what number part it was. And there's a few people in Japan that actually kind of have a little bit of a business of, basically, I guess they get parts from Bandai's, you know, broken runner stock, and they send them over here. If you're in Japan, Bandai will send you replacement parts, perhaps, if they have them sitting around from bad runners. But that's only available to people in Japan. As far as I know, you have to have a friend or go through one of the other businesses. Fortunately, I haven't had to go that route with parts yet. Thus far, the few that I have broken, I've been able to replicate. I actually broke the tripod stands on my Gundam Dynamiz, and I cut some runners out of that and re-drilled them. I should have included that in the video because it was a big, long process, but it's something I may do later and actually do again because those also broke. Well, there we go. That's back part of this, I believe. That's one of those instances I was referring to. Oh, that's awesome. I am all about family-owned businesses. Someday I actually would like to open a Gunpla store of my own. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be cool to just work at one, I think. That's awesome that they're getting you new parts, though. Like, that's actually kind of a really huge thing. It's very hard to get replacement parts from runners. I feel like I'm doing something backwards here. I recently actually just applied at a store that sells Gunpla. They sell a lot of other games and stuff too. I'm hoping I hear back from them. It seems like it'd be a really fun place to work. And I'm kind of just getting back into the community. What am I missing? I feel like this should snap. Like definitively. Into these holes, these pegs. Just doesn't seem to want to go. This might be a horribly bad idea on my part, but I think this is the hang-up. See this notch? I don't know, maybe you guys tell me if you think I'm right. These are the holes I'm trying to get to on the pegs. When I'm doing it, I don't know if you can see this or not. This should fit into said notch, but the yellow parts are preventing that. What do you guys think about that theory? kind of done with it once I cut them. But it was kind of hard to tell where I was supposed to cut that with the gate. We're going to try it. Actually, it's funny you mentioned cars, Ray. I was at my local book-offs. I don't know if you have any of those around. We actually have 2 of them where I'm at. I've only been in one of them, though. But, they had a GTR from... I think it was one of the initial D cars. Pretty sure it was an initial D model kit. And, I don't know if it's still there, but I'd kind of like to pick that up. I think that would be really fun. I actually think it's something I'd like to build for my son-in-law, honestly. He's very much a JDM car fan. But yeah, I'd like to get into doing a few cars and things. That might have been a bad idea to cut that. Oh, it fell out. It's supposed to go like this. Cutting that might have been a bad idea. You know, I had that part in right. This way? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Nope, can't go that way. It's definitely seated. Why am I having such a hard time getting it to fit on there? Am I missing something? That's funny. Yeah. Well, he's actually an adult. An adult now. If I gave it to him, I'd probably build it and paint it for him first. It would be more of a showpiece to put on a mantle. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think model building is much better than playing video games all day. Don't get me wrong, I love video games, but working with your hands is a good thing. And it also, I can tell you, well, I just did it. Problem-solving skills. They're good teachers. And honestly, this kid is a perfect example of just, you know, if you have an inkling of being into mechanical engineering, this is mechanical engineering in a small scale at its finest. So there's that. And that's kind of what I dig about it. P2, where are you? This? No, that's 01. Where is my P2 runner? This guy. Oh, camera went back again. Yeah, let's fix you. Keeps my eyes from rolling back in my head. You're P2. So I don't think that snaps till I attach the other part. I think we're on the right path. Kind of got the hiccups, I'm sorry. Five? Are you 5 or are you 6? It's hard to say. You're 5. I find model building very peaceful, to be honest. It's keeps just enough of my mental brain engaged that it's very relaxing when I get done. I'm much more at peace with the world after building a model kit. Kind of why I'm doing it. I've been dying to get back in my booth and spray. I haven't painted anything in quite a while. Not since painting the spoons for the bear guy. And I really can't wait to take that spoon and put it on the model kit. I got enough runners sitting around for this right now that I'm trying to get this to a point of mostly built before I move on to the binders. And then I'll start painting the bear. And I'm actually going to build a diorama for that one, but the diorama part may be kind of far off. I'd like to have the paint job kind of wrapped up by maybe the end of the week, next week, somewhere in that ballpark. I'm trying to keep my time frames realistic. 01 and 014. Yeah. I haven't actually built a whole lot of HG kits, though I do have the Penelope that I may try to build before they release Hathaway. Otherwise, my very first kit was actually a high-grade GP03. And I still have him, in fact. He's missing a few parts because he's about 20 years old. And I built the high-grade Wing Gundam back in the day. That was kind of before I really was into Gunpla. I actually didn't know a lot about Gundam back then. I was more of a fan of mecha anime in general, and that was what they had, and it was something to keep me entertained. Then I got back into the hobby a few years ago, and I dove deep. But I am kind of looking forward to actually building the Penelope. Otherwise, I've built a few SD kits, and I've done some. I got a few snap builds. I did the Vercon New Gundam and the Zaku 2.0, but I haven't really done a video about them because I plan on painting them. I actually just built them because I wanted to build. But I tried not to go too far with them because it's also I enjoy making the content. I like sharing it with people. It's the best way to meet people in the hobby. I'm realizing, or a good way. All right, there's something going on here I'm not seeing. Telling me. Oh, that's for these parts. Go down here. Might have to set this one down to do this. You go there. keeper. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, hey, you get back in there. Back in your hole. Back in your seat. There you go. You here. What's funny is this, you know, it's a third-party kit and it's 1/100 scale, so I guess you'd call it a master grade considering it does have an inner frame. But well, there's an aspect of this kit with its layers that it, concept-wise, it kind of reminds me of the idea behind like the PGU, where it's, you know, multiple layer on layer. I mean, I don't know, these third-party kits are getting real interesting. That makes all the difference in the world. Kind of have this figured out. Something about the way this sits. Oh, these little yellow things, man. Killing me, Smalls. You're supposed to go here. Right. If I can just get these oriented right. The Rising Freedom and the Unicorn would be cool. I feel like I've heard of A-Mames. That's even this kit. Like, it's really strong as it goes together, but the individual pieces themselves are so thin that it's like it gets its strength once you assemble it. And I can tell you from having to take the legs apart and realign some of the moving parts that they didn't make them with the idea of taking them back apart. Like once you get some of these pegs together, you better be real careful if you go to take it apart. My very first build was a resin kit, so I kind of got a crash course in some of that. I got one side on. I'm forcing it. It didn't work out right. Ah! This one's precarious. just something not sitting right. I really feel like this should go way further in. Oh, it does. Hold on. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Like, is that supposed to widen? Does it sit? Let's try something. I'm going about this the wrong way. Have you built any third-party kits, Ray? Thus far? I mean, outside of the AIMs? Is there an anime for that? Oh, you said it was a mecha anime. Is it an older one or a newer one? Okay. I think this part has shrunk a little bit. Ah, there we there. Okay. There we go. It's picky, but we got it. Oh yes, yes, I've heard horror stories. In fact, I actually experienced that with a few of the parts on my Dynamez build, where I panel lined them and they got really, really weak after that. I guess it's something that the chemical soaks into the plastic. But yeah, I'll probably paint this before I actually panel line it. And I'm more than likely with this kit because it's such an awesome kit, and I really do want it to be a nice build when I'm done. I will I'll more than likely scribe it and paint it to where when I put the panel lining on it, it hopefully never touches the actual plastic. That's the idea anyway. Ah, it's from 2021. Netflix or like Crunchyroll? So that comes down. This goes up. And then that comes out. Ah. That's the ticket. Alright, I'm sure there's more that goes with it, but pretty cool nonetheless. I like it. So that's the core of the back skirt. I'm sorry, I keep moving all these parts around. I try to leave them here so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Well, the good news is I tried to stream today with a landline as opposed to the Wi-Fi, and I haven't had any issues. So I think that may be the solution to that little problem. If you've watched any of the build videos, I'm sorry if there's blank spots. As I said, it's a work in progress, and I'm probably going to edit some of those when I get a chance. I've just been spending so much time into getting all this working right. I think we're on the back end of that finally, and I can start thinking about new stuff. Oh, I think I just lost a part off this runner in a drawer. Too much about it. Hopefully it's in a drawer. We'll find out. If I start missing a red part, I know where to look. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm also skipping past all the stickers because I'm gonna paint the inner frame when I get done. Kind of crazy because you're not gonna see most of it, but I have a bad habit of trying to go all out. actually the main reason for doing a lot of this as a live stream. If I tried to make a video at it, it'd probably take me 10 years to get it done. To be honest, I'm having a lot of fun building it this way. It's a new experience for me, and I'm enjoying it. Hope you guys do too. If you've been hanging out for a while, I'll work on adding some more music tracks. What's funny is, I wonder if I put the wrong part in that part. I need to quit second guessing myself and just keep building. Alright, so... Is there any gates on this I missed? Oh, that's a notch. We're good. There's a little notch on this. Goes up. Oh, it's a piston. I love pistons. Truthfully, I think that's why I like master grades, is you don't get a lot of pistons with high grades. Oh, that's hard to get in. No, you go there. We'll get this in. Guess this is the stuff that would clip and make comical shorts, eh? Alright, let's try it this way. Getting out the big guns. Trusty Mr. Kriya's tweezers. I'm gonna break the part. No, you go in there. Hold on. This is showing me something. Yes, the master grades are kind of crazy expensive. There was a point where I thought I would build them faster, and I collected a few of them and kind of decided no more kits till I build some of these, because they are so expensive. There's actually a few high-grade kits that they don't make master grades for that I really want to build. I want to get a Kasai. I have the Penelope. But I would like to have the Kasai. And truthfully, I don't know if they could make a master grade out of that. It would be ginormous. And, you know, it's a big mobile armor size suit anyway. Alright, so there's a notch on here that is supposed to fit in here easier when pushed to the right angle. I think it's this. Ah! No, it's on the underside. Yeah, it's on the underside. Right there. Get in there. Just... leak? It's right there. I see it. I see the notch they put in that to make it fit. There we go. Well, that really put up a good fight. Yeah, so that's the tripod on my Dynamiz. I cut runners off and I drilled it out like this part is. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom in a little closer. But my tripod broke. I'd show it to you guys, but it's way over there and I don't want to go grab it. Maybe another stream. I could actually make a whole video on that. But anyway, I ended up cutting a bit of runner and I drilled it out, and then I used the metal etch piston part and kind of rebuilt it. Had to cut it off and file it. It was a process, but it, you know, it worked pretty good. That was one way of replacing some parts, but there's some parts you just can't do that with. I mean, that was an easy one. It was a tube. Well, and that's kind of the thing I discovered with trying to make content out of my builds is master grades take a really, really long time to build. And I guess that's why I decided to live stream the majority of the frame for this, and then I'll make a video out of the paint part and kind of do a final review. But the review, it's also the live streaming's kind of helping me organize how I want that to actually go in my head, and it's kind of cool because I can go back and see what I said about things later when I do the final review. But yeah, some master grades, there's a lot to them. Like a whole lot. Okay. What are you telling me? Missing here? You just telling me to flip it down? Is that it? Uh-oh. I'm retarded. There was more to that than that. For this kit, I think this one, by the time I got done shipping it, I got it off AliExpress. I actually, the funny thing is I originally, I don't know if you've seen the unboxing video of it. All right, there's actually a better unboxing that I did live stream afterward, as far as showing you guys the parts and everything as I was getting them out to build. But the video is just a quick overview. But I originally ordered it from VCA Gundam, and unfortunately, with the customs things that were going on, this was around the first of the year. It actually took like 6 months to get here. But with the customs things going on, it didn't make it through customs, and it got shipped back. And I will say, VCA was really, really cool. They didn't have to, but they refunded it to me. And I ordered one off of AliExpress after that. And that still took about 8 weeks to get here. And I want to say you got to be careful about the shipping stuff if you get one off Ali, because some of them don't send you the box. You'll pay extra for the box. But the kit itself was like $160, and it was like $30 with shipping, so it was around $200. Well, and I have almost 2 weeks in this one already. Mind you, I'm building everything on stream. Like I don't build anything without you guys. And that's kind of because I want to document it. It's a really, really cool kit. What have I missed? There's something I'm totally missing here. skip something? Oh. No? What am I missing? Another part to this piston. I'm not seeing it for some reason. Huh. Yeah, I got that. Did I miss a piston? I'll be right back. I'm gonna step out and get some water here real quick. Okay, I'm back. All right, I gotta back up here. Well, don't feel bad, Ray. It took me about 3 years to build my first master grade. Mind you, I got a little obsessive about it. I skipped a part somewhere, I feel like. I need to backtrack to the assembly of this guy. Here. Ah, A2. We did skip a part. That's not good. Well, I say we. I skipped a part. You guys weren't here for that. I can't blame you. A2. There you are. So this little guy should be right there to catch that piston. Felt like I was missing something when I did that. My instincts were correct. Now, the question is can I get it in there without having to take this whole thing apart? It's not actually joined together properly anyway. Alright. Oh, I don't want to take you guys off, but I kind of have to. Yeah, that didn't even fit together right. So, I guess in a way that was a good thing. Maybe I might get lucky. Oh, look at that. Sweet! Like builder triumph right there. Love it when something works out good. That way. You know what? We learned last time. This actually works out about a little better. I disregard the instructions and do this first. What just happened? Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, what just happened? Somehow everything quit moving. All in this. This thing fell off of what it was supposed to be on. I don't want to force it. So the other night, I mean, yeah, I've had a lot of all-night build sessions, but none of them live yet. The other night I was trying to get on around 8 o'clock, but by the time I got everything together to do it, I was still working out how the stream works. It was like midnight or so before I was able to actually get on. And I stayed up till about 3 a.m. building. I do a lot of my painting in the middle of the night. Okay. That's what that was supposed to do. Wait. Okay. That's working again. But yeah, I do a lot of my painting in the middle of the night. I'm not sure why, other than I just enjoy it. It's a good way to just zone out and think about nothing. And there's something about the middle of the night hours that, I don't know, kind of adds to that in a weird way. It's very tranquil. I try not to, because I have like stupid camera. I have a lot of real world, job, things like that I have to do, real life. But yeah, I try to any chance I get, honestly. For example, I'd like to keep building all day today. Alas, I kind of have like a 2:30 deadline where I have to jump off and go do some real life stuff, and then I'll be able to get back on later this evening. But as I said, I'm kind of trying to build as much as I can with this kit and actually get the frame done so I can move on to painting my bear and stuff. I'm really excited about painting that bear. I have not done a candy paint job on a kit yet, and it's a good kit to do it. It's got a lot of broad surfaces. I don't know if I have one that I regret building. I do regret a little bit of trying to do the resin, the Fortune Me Out resin kit for the Dynamez as, you know, my out of the gate kit, and that I didn't start off planning that. That just kind of snowballed on me, and it's actually turned into what you see now. But yeah, I could have been a little less ambitious there. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know that I regret building any of the kits. You know, if there was a kit that I could say that, you know, that wasn't worth building, I hate to say it, it'd be that high-grade Wing Gundam, and that's just because it's the old original, like, 98 version of it, and the poly parts are terrible, it doesn't stand up, the transformation's real weak, it, you know, I think since then they've released another one that's actually a much, supposed to be much better version of it. You know, just better design, fix some of the bugs. Otherwise, I can't say there's too many I regret building. You know, probably a few I should have held off on building until I was ready to paint them. Probably my favorite kit so far. I'm really enjoying this one, but my favorite kit thus far, I think one of the coolest designs ever, and I actually really don't understand why they did the PGU new before doing a Zaku. But I really, really enjoyed the Zaku 2, the Master Grade Zaku 2.0. Whether it's the Grunt version or the Char version, or I think there's even a couple other P-Bandai variants. I think they might make a Shin version. But the Zaku 2.0 was super, super fun. Outside of that, I really love the new Gundam Verkaw. Have the Zasabi, haven't built it yet. And yeah, outside of doing the resin kit part of it, the Dynamez was actually a really, really cool build. And I haven't done any other 00 kits yet. I'd like to do the Virtue. Well, in fact, I'd like to do all the 00 kits. I mean, there's a billion Exia variants, but I'd just stick to the original Master Grade. But yeah, the Dynamez is a really mechanically wise, really cool kit, and it's surprisingly, for the size of the shield, very, very well balanced and posable. Like, there's not a position on the box you can't put that thing into. The resin kit limited it a little bit, but yeah, the Dynamez was a fun build. I spent way too long on it, but it was a really, really fun build. It's a very, very cool kit. And I don't think they're that expensive anymore. I think you can pick one up for around 40, 50 bucks. And when it came out, I think it was around 70. All right, well, we fixed that. And we got some piston work going on. I like that. I actually want to build the Strike Freedom. I'll be honest, I'm kind of a die-hard UC fan, but I recently watched the entire library for Seed, and yeah, now I kind of want to build a Freedom Gundam. I also want to build the Barbatos. I have yet to do an IBO kit, and I think there's a bunch of new ones that just came out, but I think the full mechanics Barbatos would be an awesome build. It's like pistons galore. And I just think pistons are cool. How relevant to the build. I'm thoroughly impressed with all the moving hatch gimmicks and things on this kit. And I understand the MGEX isn't it close to almost kind of how they do the PGU line with the layering? Ah, so you built all of the Seed Gundams. I have to say, after watching the anime, I actually really liked Seed. There's all kinds of things about the last Seed Freedom that I almost think they should have made a series out of that instead of a movie. It seemed a little like they wrapped it up a little bit of a rushed way, but the animations were great, and I like the Zegok in it. That's actually a kit I'd like to build. I'd like to build the Zegok with is it the Impulse that is inside of it? I can't remember. All right, we need some A parts. 2, 3. Hey, is this runner? Oh, that's why the camera goes backwards and my eyes roll into my head. It's because the runners hit the cable. Move that back a little bit. So we want... Uh-oh, I lost where I was. Okay, I'm totally jumping steps here. I got to chatting and forgot where we were. Oh, sorry about the big elbow in the screen. A little bit of a delay, I see that after the fact. Okay, so, okay, 23 and 24. YouTube. How funny, I actually have the metal frame for the Zosabi too. How did it go together? How was the fitment? I used the metal frame for my new Verkaw, and yeah, it's really heavy. Didn't have any fitment issues to speak of though. I was thoroughly impressed by the metal frames, and I really like it. I wish they'd make one for the Zaku 2.0. They have it for the Zaku Warrior. Oh, nice. Oh, so you took it apart and added the metal frame. I didn't catch that before. I do like the metal frames, but they do... I actually like the weight that it adds to it. It makes it feel less like a toy and more like... kind of like a metal build where it's, you know, something you'd put on your desk and just, you know, show it off to your friends. Sort of like a flex. Add a metal frame to it, and it goes from being a model kit to a flex. Good job with the metal frame. I don't know, there's a strength to them that it just feels better in your hand. So, Ricardo, do you build on stream too? If so, I may have to check you out. Yeah, funny thing about with the Zosabi and the new Gundam, both the Verkaws, I actually was so impressed with that metal frame. I almost think Bandai, I know they don't make the metal frames, but I think it's something that they should maybe consider doing with kids. I'd actually pay extra for that. Although I'm kind of glad the third parties do it, because Bandai probably charges twice as much. Oh, they did make one for the Zaku 2.0? Because I see the ones for the Zaku Warriors, and it's a very, very similar in a frame in the sense that I think like you could reuse like maybe the legs and stuff. Or maybe it's the upper part. I really do like the metal frame thing though. I haven't done one of the kits where they give you the pre-built frame and you can kind of assemble the armor. I've yet to go there. But yeah, I really like the metal frame thing, and they're fun to put together. I mean, just something about it. Makes you feel like you're actually building a robot. L2. That's the white runner. No, L1 is the right runner. Which one is L2? Oh, there is a pilot figure. So I was wondering, I hadn't seen a pilot figure on any of the runners. I just found her. Let me zoom in on that for you guys. Oh, I lost my mic. Yeah, there we go. It's Marita Cruz. I guess here's her legs for the sitting version, and so that's going to be awesome to paint. I might actually have to paint that sooner than later, just to use it for posing shots during the build. Anyway, let me zoom back out for you guys. Sorry, I hope you guys don't mind the camera adjustments. There's some of this that I know the camera doesn't pick up, and I want you guys to see it. Part of the reason I'm building this online like this is I'm excited about it. And it's fun to share. All right, so 13. I have a feeling this other one is going to be in here. I like that they at least put all the parts that came off in the same bag. I didn't know they did one for the Sinanju. That's actually... So there's a master grade I'd actually like to get. I have a full armor with the MG... I got the full armor unicorn Verka. I haven't built it yet. Probably something I'll try to do relatively soon after getting this built. I would like to get the Sinanju. That is actually... There's a few resin kits for that are just unbelievably cool looking. I didn't know they made a metal frame for it though. That's actually pretty cool. If you've done any videos on this, I may have to check it out. I don't know if you have a Reddit, but you can follow me on Reddit. I kind of post progress and stuff, and it's a little easier to talk about things like that. More on a one-on-one kind of thing. That's part of the reason I actually started doing the online thing. It was more to meet people within the community. I enjoy the hobby, and I know there's a lot of people out there, but you know, it's still a relatively niche kind of thing. G14. What time is it? 2:18. I'm debating on whether I should keep going or if I should try to go get my real world stuff taken care of, but I'm having fun. Why did my neck just snap? What is going on with that? What is going on here? I'm not laying down. Oh, I've got this all messed up now. Why am I way down there? There. So I don't know. This might be the last part until I get back on later this evening. I really do have some other things I have to go do. I was hoping I'd get the whole back skirt built. I got kind of hung up on this piston thing though. But boy, is that cool. Glad we figured it out. I lost the gates. Ah, there they are. Oh, Ricardo, and I probably will. I more say it just because I really do. It's hard for me to pull myself away once I get going. And I'm hoping you guys will stop back in when I get back on. And of course, I don't want you to feel like I'm abandoning anybody. But I know, most of the internet understands that we all have like real stuff we have to do too. Kinda goes with it. Let's go in the hole. Heck. Where do you go? I think you go like that. Ah. There we go. Boom. Oh, nope, 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 nope. There's another piece that goes on that keeps that from doing that. Let me see, if I go to 7, is that all of it? Almost. 9, 7. That takes us to 10. Time is it? No, that's a lot of little S parts. You know what's funny? You mentioned the XM metal frame. So as I was finishing up the Dynamiz, my only complaint about that kit is the way they did the shoulders. The shoulder joints are really, really cool because they have I'll kind of snap this back together and leave you guys on that note before I go. But the shoulder joints have like a 6-axis moving system. What's funny is I didn't track how many hours I had in the Dynamiz, but just in painting the weapons, I had 40 hours of painting footage. So I don't know how long the rest kit took. I try not to think about it. It's probably way more hours than I want to admit. But the shoulder joints, I actually ended up buying the metal frame for the Dynamiz and taking apart the upper half after I had almost finished painting to replace the shoulder joints because they just kept breaking constantly. I fixed them a couple times and they still broke. And the funny thing is the metal frame doesn't replace those parts, but they give you a part that's the exact same, but it's stronger plastic. And that seemed to fix it. But yeah, I ended up getting the metal frame for that too. And at some point, I think what I might do, there's injection molded armor parts now that copy the Fortune Meow resin kit. And I'm thinking about building that metal frame with those. Yeah, I really like the metal frames. If there's one available for a kit and I plan on building it, and they're cheap too. I mean, it's kind of funny. I think the metal frame for my Verkaw New and the Zossiby was only like $20 or $30, which, you know, you got to remember that's $30 on top of what's already a $100, $120 kit. But when you get done with it, you can tell. It takes it from being a model kit to being a display piece. In my opinion. I really, really like them. What's funny is you can find them all day long online, but I have yet to see any of the local hobby stores really carry them. And I have a couple builds in the backlog that before I built them, because I know there is metal frames for them, I would probably do a metal frame first. In fact, that's one reason I haven't painted the Zaku yet. You know, I need to watch Wing. It's strange that I'm a fan of Gundam from the US, and I used to watch Crunchyroll, or not Crunchyroll, but Adult Swim every Friday night. I watched Adult Swim, but I never got into Wing. It was always Cowboy Bebop and the Boondocks. And I think Wing is the only alternate universe I have yet to watch. So I'll try to make it a point to do that. Anyway, on that note, it is getting late and I have to get in the shower and go do some adult things. I'm hoping I may be back on tonight around 7, 8 o'clock my time, which would be in about 6 hours from now. Maybe a little sooner. One more kid I wish for? Oh boy. That's a tough call, because I actually have like a ridiculous backlog at this point. But I have yet to do and this is where my dreams are probably bigger than they should be. But I really want to build a PGU, the RX-78 PGU. The Savior's actually really cool. I just saw that at one of my local hobby stores. I was surprised they had it. That's another series I haven't watched. I haven't seen much of G-Savior. I haven't seen much of Crossbone. And I don't know if there's really any anime for the F91 series, but I'd kind of like to know what's going on with it. I actually watched most of the Gundam catalog backwards, though. I started with Unicorn. That was kind of what got me into it. Other than, what really got me into it was my kid getting me the Dynamez for Christmas, and I started building it one day and decided I really loved it. I haven't done a full mechanics yet. As far as I know, the only one that exists is the Barbatos, but there are so many model kits out there. It's funny. I actually, another one I want to do is, I don't know if you were here earlier, I have the Moderoid Voltron, and I'm probably going to start building one lion at a time on stream with that. I want to get the inner frame of this close to done so I can get the bear painted and kind of clean up the desk before I start breaking out another kit. But I'm looking forward to doing the Moderoid Voltron, especially with the rumors of there being a live action floating around. Supposedly there's a live action Voltron that they filmed it and kept it very under wraps, and it's now in post-production. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But yeah, I kind of want to build that Moderoid Voltron, and I'm truly a diehard, like, what really got me into anime was in the early 80s, Voltron and Robotech. And if you're in Japan, you're probably going to get mad about the Robotech thing, and well, I can make a whole series of videos about the Harmony Gold Robotech versus Macross thing. But nonetheless, I'm a big Macross and Macross fan too. If we're of all three of the Japanese versions of that, and I just think they're some of the coolest mech designs. But I kind of want to get my hands on one of the Hasegawa transformable kits and build one of those. And I actually have the old Jetfire transformer that I'm thinking about. It's a little beat up, kind of yellowed. Thinking about maybe a rehab series on that. But anyway, I'm glad you guys stopped in. It's been a really fun build, and I hope you. Let me put this back on screen for you guys. I hope you guys tune in later. It's all out of focus. It's so tall it sends the camera out of focus. Hoping you guys can stop back in for the rest of it. I got other things in the works. I enjoy a lot of this outside of Gunpla. And there's actually... I haven't quite got there yet, but... You know, there's some anime topics I'd like to either discuss live stream wise or maybe make a video or two about it. One of those being creators of Evangelion and some of their recent statements, but I won't get too far into that right now. But yeah. Anyway, it's been a fun build. I'm glad you guys stopped in. That's actually kind of cool. I like with the Liger Zero. I'll tell you another one I want to build. I really, really want to build the Arcadia from Captain Harlock. There's a few ships I'd like to build. I'd actually like to build an SDF-1 too. Maybe a Zentradi battlecruiser. You have a good day too, Ricardo. Again, thanks for stopping in the build. If you're not subscribed, please do. Every little bit helps. And we'll hang out again later this evening, maybe. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for stopping in, guys. I'll see you guys later.